But first, new at 6 o'clock tonight, the state agency that certifies who can serve in law enforcement in Arizona is seeing officers right now investigated for sex on the job.
And one case involves an elected official, Paz County Sheriff William Ponce. Carissa Planalp spoke exclusively with the sheriff.
Paz County Sheriff William Ponce was investigated for sex on duty years before he was elected sheriff. Last month, the case put his career on the line.
A typical rendezvous would entail meeting with him and having sex most of the time while Ponce was in uniform and arrived in a crit police vehicle.
The details read aloud from an internal affairs report. The audio from last month's Arizona Peace Officer Standards and Training Board meeting.
Most of the sexual activity occurred at her residence while Ponce was on duty.
The allegations involve Sheriff Ponce when he was chief of the Colorado River Indian Tribes Police Department. Arizona's family has obtained the 2015 internal investigation report conducted by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. According to the documents, the investigation was launched when an officer being fired for mishandling evidence claimed violation of due process. During the course of the investigation, details emerged of a prior relationship between the officer's girlfriend and William Ponce. Investigators ultimately determined Ponce did nothing wrong in firing the officer, but then Police Chief Ponce was slapped with a violation of conduct unbecoming of an officer.
Obviously, there were some things that were truths in this case, but there was a lot of things that weren't and misrepresented.
Sheriff Ponce spoke exclusively with Arizona's family. He disputes some claims in the internal affairs report. According to the records, he admitted to meeting the woman twice on duty. He said they made out and touched each other. Ponce believes the 2015 report was dug up by a political opponent ahead of his November election.
They looked for anything they could to try to create negative light on me.
That may be true. According to AZ Post Executive Director Matt Giordano, the board reviews misconduct investigations when they are brought to the board's attention. But according to comments made in the January board meeting, officials hint at a much larger problem of officers having sex on duty.
Over the last year, we've had a plethora of these types of cases, and we're really trying to find out where the board would like us to go with these.
This is something that kind of continues to rear its head within law enforcement community. People don't like to discuss it or talk about it, but it has to be discussed at some point, obviously.
Ponce says he believes misconduct findings involving sex on duty should be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. As for his case,
does it show a lack of good judgment from a law enforcement leader?
I think I've developed and grown as a leader.
The AZ Post board could have voted to strip Ponce of his law enforcement credentials, preventing him from serving as a cop when he leaves office. Instead, the board voted to drop the matter. Ponce says he wants to finally put the incident behind him.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, sometimes you get into situations and later on you look back and you're like, yeah, I wish I didn't make that decision.
And Arizona's family has requested the reports from AZ Post of officer misconduct involving sex on duty. Guys?
Carissa, a question for you. Was Ponce ever disciplined for conduct unbecoming?
Well, according to that AZ Post board meeting last month, investigators there tried to get a hold of some kind of record of discipline, but were unable to. Ponce himself says that he was not punished for conduct unbecoming.
Carissa Planalp, thanks so much.